Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Welcome back indeed. Let's turn some lights on. Goodness me, my last video caused a little bit of a divide. It was teaching a camera trick, and some people really don't like camera tricks, which I sort of understand. I'll just put you on the tripod. At the same time, I love video magic, and I think 2020, if it's proved anything for magicians, it has proved that video magic is definitely an art form of its own. I mean, in 2020, it sort of had to take flight, you know, otherwise magic would die because of all of the live performances that were cancelled. So I really love teaching camera magic. I'm gonna still keep doing it no matter how many people tell me that it's not worth doing. I really believe in it. So today, to balance things out, I thought I would teach something really practical. A practical skill, not in performance, but in preparation. If you know about splitting cards, then you will know just how useful this can be. And today I'm going to be teaching you this technique of being able to create gimmicks, double backers, double facers, flap cards. The list is endless, and I think it's a skill that everyone really deserves to know. So this is how to properly split playing cards. Grab yourself a deck of cards, a deck that you don't mind ruining because you're probably going to go through the whole deck and not be able to use it by the end. So pick an old deck or ask your friends if they've got old cards. That's a really good way of practicing. Because this is something you are definitely going to want to practice. So I've just got some old bikes. I'm going through all of my old bicycle cards just because I don't want to perform with these anymore. I want to perform with better decks, and I've learned that really bicycle cards now for me, and this isn't for everyone, but for me these are really just practice cards. These are the cards that can get dinged up and folded and torn and signed and split. So let's take this deck and let's split some cards the proper way. Of course, when I say the proper way, I don't mean that this is set in stone, that this is the only way of doing it, and if you have your method of splitting cards that's different to mine, then keep using that. This is just how I like to do it. So, we'll start with the four of spades and I'll show you what I do to split this card. And most people might think that you just go for it, that you just split the card. I wish that were possible. For me, it's just not. I always end up with sort of half tears down the middle and peeling layers away and then ripping. It's a messy scene. So I like to prepare the card by just doing this little motion right here. This doesn't have a name, but I'll call it the Pringle motion. You sort of do this little movement, and it just bends the fibers inside the card. The way I like to think of it is there's loads of fibers in the layers somehow, and that you're sort of breaking those. So just sort of moving it, wobbling it, doing a bit of this. So long as you're not creasing the card or folding it, you know, this card is still flat, it's still perfectly flat. So long as you're bending it evenly, you should be okay. But yeah, I just like to bend it up, warm it up a little bit, and then tackle one particular corner. I give it a few more bends, sort of heat it up a little bit so that it's still, you know, I'm not curling it or doing anything crazy, and then I like to go for it. So the way that you approach this is by starting at one corner. I'm starting at the top left or bottom right, and I do a tiny little fold. It's not even really a fold, you just sort of push your thumb up. I'll show you what I mean. So with a fresh card, just so you see, I like to hold it with my left thumb on top and just push up with my right thumb so that we get this small little, not even a fold, just a little curl in the edge of the card. And once we've got this curl, I'm going to take my thumb and do just a micro fold like that. I'm not creasing the card, it's just going up 90 degrees. It doesn't go all the way flat because then you'll get a visible line. You just go up so that it's pointing 90 degrees from the rest of the card. And here is where, if I zoom out, here is where we're going to split the card on that little fold. Once we've got this little fold here, I'm going to try and keep this in frame but still zoomed in. We are going to push with our fingernail, and as soon as you do that, you'll notice, maybe you won't, but you'll notice that the layers are starting to come apart. Now if you focus in very carefully, I know this is really on a macro scale here, but we've got the top layer, the bottom layer, but then in between that, you might see a little dark layer. You can just about make out a dark layer there. It's really difficult to show up on camera this is right in on the action. So as soon as that happens, then we're away, because we just take the card and you'll notice it's beginning to come apart. Now, I've not folded the card in a major way. I've certainly not damaged the card. You can't see this. From the front, if you smooth everything out, nothing has folded, nothing has creased or damaged. That is so important. I'll show you with a clean card from the beginning. We do some Pringle motion like so. We bend the card, we warm it up. We're not creasing it, we're just bending those fibers, ripping those fibers. I then push up with my thumb while my other thumb is there, so we get a nice 90-degree curl. I then go even more, I fold. I can start to see the layers here. My fingernail goes bang in the center of that fold, and already I've peeled just a tiny amount away. I then take that, whoops, nearly slipped then. I take that and I grip it between my fingernails, and we've got this. And this is our first little bit. The cards are completely fine on either side, both layers are completely fine, but at this point, we take it and we just gently ease them apart. Now at this point, this is a crucial moment because it could rip, it could go one way or another, and you need to be really, really careful that it doesn't rip. So the way that I like to make sure that it doesn't rip is by applying as much area of my hands onto the cards as possible, because the way I like to think about it, imagine you have an icy lake that's completely frozen over and you want to get to the other side. If you were in high heels, that small point, that tiny little point would be taking most of your body weight, and all that pressure on one tiny point would obviously break the ice and you would just go through the ice. But polar bears, on the other hand, have really, really big wide feet, and that surface area means that their weight is evenly spread, so something as heavy as a polar bear can walk across a frozen lake without breaking it because of all that surface area. So you want to apply the same thing to this, that wasn't a random tangent, so that you are applying as much surface area to this as possible, because if I were to just, with two fingers on either side, just pull, the card would rip. But you want to apply pressure with your fingers here so that you have as much grip as possible. Try and show you this, as much as possible. And as soon as you feel like there's a bit of the card that you could have your fingers on, you do. So you're constantly just edging that thumb down. My fingers here are pressing. I like to sort of reverse it so that one hand is like this and one hand is like this. So the front of these fingers on my right hand are against the face of the card, and my right thumb is inside the card, basically doing the ripping. And then with my left hand, the backs of my fingers are going to be on this back of the card. So front of the fingers on the front, back of the fingers on the back. It's quite a good way of remembering it. And this thumb is on top, and you're going to be easing and easing, and you're going to hear that card being ripped slowly. And take your time, there's no rush here. The better you get, I'm going slow here, but the better you get, speed will come with practice, but for now, you just want to go slow. And yeah, the cards are starting to bend, they're starting to curl, that can be easily corrected, so don't worry about that. And you're going to carry on until you get to this edge, just gently taking your time. You're going to ease it all the way to this edge, and then you're going to start to go down. So you'll notice I started to go across sort of diagonally until I hit the edge, and then I'm going to even things up by focusing more on this side so that that rip where the split is horizontal across the card, narrow ways. And this is really, really easy, this bit, because you're just going to be splitting the card all the way and all the way to the end. So as soon as we're on this edge, start to even things up, we massage, we take our time, and we have here a perfectly split card. And yes, it's curled, you can't really avoid that, and that's something that can be fixed if you stack loads of these together and put them in a card box and clamp them with pegs or clamps or a vise. That's really, really good. Or just put something heavy on top of the deck, then that will definitely fix itself. So that is how you split cards. And the way that you can control how you split it, so obviously we've got two layers here. We've got the middle and the top layer, and here we've got the bottom layer on its own. You've got a sort of thick, cardy one and a very papery one. The way you can control how you want this to be if you're making double faces or double backers is simply by using that finger rule. So you'll notice that when I split this card, this hand, the right hand, had its fingers against the side that was really, really thin, and this hand had the backs of the fingers against the side that was thick. So if you just remember that the thick side is going to be the backs of your fingers, then you can easily control, the cards being the right thickness. So hopefully that was a succinct explanation of splitting cards, and that is how I do it. If you have a different method, I think that's great. Share it in the comments. I'm always looking for ways of doing this, and yeah, good luck with splitting cards. Practice on multiple decks, and the ones that are successful you can use the practice ones if they're successful. So yeah, there we go. So there we have it, that is how to split cards. And one last tip, you do not have to split them all the way. So this is one that I did just off camera, and I split it halfway because I want to put some magnets inside here. So you don't have to split them all the way. And in fact, I would recommend this because it saves you the job of having to line up the different layers afterwards. If they're still connected at the bottom like this, that saves you just a little job. So there we go. I might be teaching some tricks that require you to split cards in the future, so I thought I'd make this video before I teach any of those, because there's some really good uses that I have for splitting cards. So there we go. And to finish this video off, I am going to be showing you some footage that I got yesterday. Talking of splitting things, I took part in Daniel Madison's Mad Slingshot Challenge, so I'm going to show you that footage that I took yesterday. Some of you watching this video will instantly know why I've got elastic bands, and specifically this type of elastic bands that I had to order on Amazon. And that is because I'm going to be taking part in Daniel Madison's recent giveaway, sort of competition thing, where he is challenging people using these elastic bands and playing cards alone to cut sausages. No joke, that's what I'm going to be trying to do today. I thought it'd be a bit of fun. I don't really ever take part in things like this, so it'll be a sort of fun experiment to see if I can actually do it. However, bit of a change, because I don't eat sausages, I don't eat red meat, and I never have, I'm going to be switching it up a little bit. I'm going to be using bananas, which I consider somewhat to be the sausage of the fruit and veg world. Oh, there's quite a lot of power in them. That hit, yeah, there's a line right there. I wasn't sure, it sort of bounced off. Oh, look at that! Clean cut all the way through. Oh! What card was it? What card was it? Ace of Diamonds. You know what? We've cut the banana a couple of times now, we've skinned the top, we've impaled it. That was fun. That was fun. It took a while. I've literally been doing this for like an hour now, I think. But yeah, that was really fun. So I think I can consider the Mad Slingshot Challenge complete. It's gone a bit off in the air for all this time. Thanks for watching this video. Yes, I have got a sore throat, that's why I sound a little bit weird. You can like this video if you enjoyed it, that really helps me out. And you can also subscribe as well and help a small channel grow a little bit. It's really great to see people subscribing to this channel. As always, I just make videos because I enjoy it and because I want to make good videos. So if you want to subscribe, feel free, that would be really, really appreciated. And a couple of updates for the people that have been sticking around on the channel. The Dystopian deck is on pre-order the day that this video is coming out, so if you want to grab some decks, there might be some left. Feel free to check the link in the description for that. What else? The Honest Psychic, my biggest ever mentalism project, is also for sale right now, and physical copies are on pre-order. And yeah, if you're waiting on a deck from the Kickstarter, by the way, I'm still waiting for them myself, so we're just waiting to hear back from Cartamundi on that, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that should be happening sometime soon. And today is also my birthday. I'm 20 years old, which is crazy because I don't feel 20. So yeah, I'm gonna get some rest because I'm not feeling 100%, but I'll catch you very, very soon.